So if you were watching yesterday, you would see that we were trying to bake the world's biggest loaf of bread. Anyway, we put it in the oven and then we went for a brew. Anyway, this is the rest of yesterday. Ready? 45 minutes, go. I'll see you coming up the tin. Right, I'm up on the ladder so we can get a bit higher, see if we can see the tin. Go. Right, no. Just realised if I put these up here, they've only got to read through one layer of metal in a straight line. So there's a chance that they might work then the other way, where they were going through 2 layers of metal through the tin and everything. Right, hour and a half now. Let's see what happens when we open the door. Ooh. Yeah. Luckily I was only on the second step. Right, take 2, go. I can't see anything. Right, we're going to open the door and see what it looks like inside. Looks good in there. We break the coals so it gets hot again, and then that's the bread. Now it is nicely rising, to be fair. Let's add a bit more charcoal. Right, we've just lifted it out ever for a second to rake the coals. It does look like it's cooking.
Man, that's awesome.
Back in?
Yeah.
We left it a while with the door rammed shut so it made a tighter seal, but we think we've snuffed this fire out now.
Yeah, we have.
Oh! So we'll have to open the door and get some air in then, won't we?
We have to get back in there and stoke it up.
Oh. We should lift the tank out then again. Don't do that one yet. We'll start at the back. Do you want me to lift it out again?
Yeah, unless you can get by it.
I doubt it. We lifted it up now, we're raking the coals. Got a bit more into it. It's now 9:30, it's 2 hours since we last opened the door. It's 122 degrees inside, so we're going to have another look, see what's going on. We've got hot coals.
Ooh. And smoke.
Oh well, let's leave it, I think. At least the coals were glowing.
Yeah.
It's now 10 o'clock at night. It's been in there since, I can't remember what time. Was it 3, 4 o'clock? Sorry, 4:30, I just looked. Things we've learned, if you shut the doors tight, it puts the fire out. We've come up with a plan how to keep a continuous heat source in there. We don't know how long it's going to take to cook now. It's basically, we're just going to leave it overnight and see what happens in the morning. Might come out in the middle of the night and check it, maybe, I don't know. But the coals are really glowing now and there's plenty of heat in there, so just see what happens in the morning. It's now 7:20. Got a truck here for wheat. It's bank holiday Monday morning. Left the loaf cooking all night. So I'm gonna go and stick it out. Spraying, he's pulling forwards a bit so the wagon doesn't hit the way, hit the back of the boom. Yeah, left it cooking all night, so we'll see what the results are. Container's cold, that means it's lost. Well, the fire's gone out basically. So we'll have a look what's happened. Still relatively warm in here. There's the coals. And then, oh. Yeah. So I think it's kind of like risen, cooled, and folded in on itself. It's more of a Yorkshire pudding. So here is Britain's biggest Yorkshire pudding. So what's gone wrong? Have we run out of heat and before the middle's cooked, as it was literally going to take hours? Or is the tin too thick that we can't get the heat through? Did it rise too much before we started cooking? Don't know. We'll take it out the container, get this wheat out of the way, take it out the container, take it out of the oven if you will, and then we'll dig in and see what the middle's like. Looked like we were going to do it as well yesterday. Right, we got the telehandler, we're going to lift the coals out and then lift the bread out and see what it looks like. In fact, we could probably just lift the bread out over the top. Could we go up a tiny bit? Still a bit gooey in the middle, isn't it? There's a temperature probe as well. It's got hot there though, hasn't it? See, some of it could have been to do with it overproofing and then flopping before we put it in. Get the rake and see. Yeah, it's still a bit doughy in the middle, isn't it? It's literally like a loaf size all the way around though, isn't it? If you look. Right. So, it's still warm. Okay. Now we're going to see if we can pick the tin up with the digger. Flip it over and let the loaf out. Just whether the grab's going to reach wide enough. Be easy with the forks, won't it? Yeah, we're going to weigh it and tip it out with the pallet forks, but we'll just get this T&J wagon out the yard. It's come for wheat. John's just Loading him up now. Right, it's a tin plus pallet forks. Weighs 1080. Another truck of wheat off now. Let's see what happens when we tip this out. Oh, it's still quite liquid, isn't it? Yeah, the bottom's burnt. Still some heat in there, isn't there? Kind of wasn't that liquefied when we made it. Stupidly, I didn't take the temperature probe out before we rolled it over, so there's a temperature probe in there somewhere. That looks perfect. But then that's just... It's quite a big loaf though, isn't it? I still think it's Britain's biggest loaf, even though it might not have worked. There's 2 temperature probes in that, so we can do with finding them before it goes off to the animal feed. So we're gonna have to try and dig through it with the digger. Just try and flick that way. Whoa, there's some heat in there, isn't there? Try and flick that way. I think I'll have to get a spade, aren't I? Or a metal detector. Like a cake mix now. We've just munched it up with the digger trying to find a temperature probe. We're going to have to get a metal detector now. After a bit of munching with the bucket, we found both probes anyway. There's not much left of the loaf now though. So that one survived, that's pretty good. That was doing the ambient. That one's melted the probe because we tried to put it inside to try and get some heat, and anyway that's completely goosed because it's got a bit of bucket rash. This one could be cleaned up and hopefully go back in that, and it's just the battery cover's a bit buckled with the heat. This is the plan for the new loaf. This is the container. Tray along the bottom to feed it with charcoal. Then the loaf have a tube in the middle, square hole, that we can also put hot coals inside. So basically instead of putting the loaf in the oven, we also put it in the oven, but we also have an oven in the loaf. So that's kind of a cross section of what it looked like. There's the container. We have holes either end that we can let airflow in and push trays of charcoal in, put them out the other end, refresh them, then put them back in this end, and the same tunnel through the middle of the loaf. So we've got a heat source within the loaf. Because, this is what's going on. That's how thick bread is from the heat source. 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. So when it's only a couple of inches, it's dead easy to get the heat into the middle of the loaf. But it's not a straight line, it's exponential. So when you get it to 24 inches, what we were trying to do, it's nearly impossible to get enough heat into the centre of the bread for it to cook. Hence why the current record is only about that high, about 12 to 18 inches high loaf of bread. So we're going to try and beat that. So hence why we think this might work. They're chains as well to hold the tin on the top so that it's not in the way for moving charcoal in. So that means that we can keep the door shut all the time, just have a gap along the bottom to allow airflow and to keep putting new coals in. So yeah, going to take a bit of building the tin, but that's the best chance we've got, we think. Got these spiky things here, stop the birds making a mess in the gazebo at Brookhouse. I'm going to go and screw them on now. Yeah, I'm going to put them up there, but it doesn't look too bad, that, does it? You can't really see them. Taking shape now. Just got them last few to do. This little step's not big enough, so we're going to have to get the steps off the hot tub. Still got a bit of a flood on this field, and even got ducks on it. Council have put signs up saying flood, but just needs the leaves kicking out of the grid. That'll be gone in 10 minutes. In fact, that'll be gone in 5 minutes, if that. Actually just driven from there to here, what, a minute or so, and the flood has gone. Little bit of a skyfall update. Wet hole there, but doesn't look too bad. Looks a bit hungry again though. Get some fert on it again this week. Going to take a plant back and cut it open. We'll see how big the head's looking, how long they are. Right, I've sliced it open with a knife. Now, hopefully, we can pull the head, the seed head out the middle, which is this bit here. Oh, it snaps. Oh, that's going to be the seed head anyway, that. Let me try another one. Let's try this stalk here. Get that out of the way. Peel that open now. A bit hard again, but see, it's there. That's going to be the wheat that we want to harvest, and then the other bit that snapped off is still in the end here. Anyway, that's what we're looking for. Wheat. Absolutely cracking day now. Glad I've got my t-shirt on, available online. Bet loads of people would like to have had a bank holiday barbecue, but unfortunately we bought most of the charcoal for sale around Manchester area yesterday. I know it's not been outside, but that is still looking very, very shiny, isn't it? I look tired, don't I? Only really two today on today's birthday one. We got Elizabeth Cheeseborough, he's 46. Joey Carter is 55, and they made, it's basically in memory of Sinead, who was 18, but sadly died on the 11th of April. So they made a promise to put a dad on the birthday bumper, so there he is. So we're up to £67,739. That is all for today. Anyone got any good ideas of how to make better bread? Let us know in the comments, and I'll see you all tomorrow.